I started cooking Sunday sauce after I had my daughter Layla. I wanted to start our own family traditions and pass on old ones. Anything that would give her the kind of joyous, sensory-laden memories I had with my mother. Passing down family traditions took on more gravity as I slowly accepted I couldn't have more children. My pregnancy with Layla had nearly killed us both, and the chances of the same thing happening again were too high. So I cooked, I made sauce. Sometimes plans and being responsible don't work out the way you thought they would, though, and I got pregnant. And the hopes I had tucked away, of Layla helping me feed a baby, of sisters holding hands or pulling each other's hair, came back to torment me, whispering, maybe. But the maybe my brain had on repeat did not change the reality that my body couldn't take it. When I got sick with Layla, I thought I wanted to be the mother who dies for her pregnancy. I told the doctors to keep her in, that I didn't matter. But this time the decision was clear, even if I didn't want to see it. As I watched my toddler scooping ricotta onto layers of dough, I knew that I didn't hate myself enough to die, and that I loved her enough not to. And with that, the choice was made. And so I make Sunday sauce to tell Layla, I love you. This is enough. Some people don't think of Planned Parenthood as a family organization, but that's what it is to me, and to the millions of people it serves every year. I'm here to talk to the president of Planned Parenthood, Cecile Richards, at Butter and Scotch, a bakery and cocktail bar in Brooklyn that donates $1 of each item to the organization. I think a lot of people know you as the president of Planned Parenthood, but if they don't follow you on Instagram, which they should, they might not know that you're also a pretty serious home cook and baker.
Pie baker.
You have very strong opinions about pies.
I'm always learning, right? I've been making pies for years, but I will confess I've gone with the all butter crust. I've tried it every which way. I've tried it with chilled vodka. I've tried it with shortening. All butter,
really?
It's just, it's been a game changer for me. And pies, that's like a staple. And so I started baking pies, and then now my 3 kids all bake pies. And so we spend a lot of our time trading pie recipes, including recipes from this very restaurant.
Really?
Yes. I kind of taught myself. My mother was a great cook, former governor of Texas, but in her spare time, before she got to be governor, she was a great cook, but she was never a pie baker. So I think I just kind of had to find my niche, someplace that I could actually specialize.
So your mother was governor of Texas. Did that influence sort of how you got into politics and what led you to Planned Parenthood?
Well, my mother, she raised all 4 of us. She spent most of her life, making dinner and helping with homework and doing all that before she ever ran for public office. So I've sort of seen both sides. That's why it's exciting right now actually to see women who have been either in the workforce or taking care of their kids and suddenly go, oh, I guess I could run for office too. Because that was really my mother's trajectory. What I find is that the women who are in office, who have another life, they're much better office holders.
Yeah.
They're not just there to have an honorific. And the exciting thing to me is I think women are more saying, well, may as well just try it. And Mom would always say, what's the worst thing that could happen?
With the state of the country, the state of the world, what is the stuff that you're most concerned about right now?
Some people think that all the fight in Washington is simply about the right to safe and legal abortion, but actually the fight is now including access to birth control. We're actually at a record low for teenage pregnancy in the United States. We're at a 30-year low for unintended pregnancy. That didn't happen without a lot of work, including work by Planned Parenthood to make sure that there is better sex education and better access to family planning.
Right.
I look at healthcare access that we've been fighting all year to make sure that women can still get access, not only to Planned Parenthood, but just basic, breast cancer screenings and birth control. And so I think that's something we're just going to have to continue to be really vigilant on. The good news is I think we're also seeing more activism on these issues than I have ever seen in my lifetime, and that's exciting.
It feels good, but it feels scary at the same time. And there's also the Me Too movement that's happening, right? And the slogan that's come out of this sexual harassment reckoning has been believe women. And the big pro-choice slogan is trust women. And I'm wondering if you see a connection between those two things.
I do think that's true. The whole idea that, and particularly around the issues that Planned Parenthood works on, that people are the best to make their own decisions about their pregnancy, not the government. And so trusting women to make the most personal decisions they'll probably make in a lifetime is really, really important.
For me, I got pregnant after I had my daughter Layla, and Layla was born really early, and I got really sick, and I couldn't have another child. It was dangerous to my life and health. And the decision to end that pregnancy was so personal and so difficult because we really wanted another child. And I didn't go to Planned Parenthood, but the empathy of my provider in that moment and like the nurses. It was incredible. It made everything sort of okay
Right.
in that moment.
Look, if members of Congress could get pregnant, we would not be actually fighting about birth control and Planned Parenthood because they would understand that this is a fundamental issue for women. I went to Paul Ryan's district, Speaker Ryan, who lives in Wisconsin, because we have 3 Planned Parenthood health centers in his district. Yeah. Now, they don't provide abortion services, but they provide all kinds of other health care. And I met women, including a woman named Lori Hawkins, who that's where she goes to for her basic health care. And it was Planned Parenthood that actually helped detect cysts that she needed to get dealt with in order to be able to have a child. She now has a beautiful 13-year-old daughter. And she says, look, if it wasn't for Planned Parenthood, this might not have happened. I was in the San Diego clinic the other day to visit, and the waiting room was full of men, and the TV, which is usually on the soaps, was turned to ESPN. I said to the clinician, so what's going on? She said, oh, it's vasectomy day at Planned Parenthood. So we work very hard to make sure that we're providing them the best possible care without judgment, without shame, because again, these issues, even though we have seen, as you said, like an outpouring of people now sharing their stories, in a lot of parts of the country, people are still stigmatized for sex, sexuality, all kinds of issues, and that is that's frustrating. I think it's getting better, but it can't get better fast enough.
No, it can't get better fast enough.
That's, I think, absolutely trying to lift up the real experiences of our patients is something that's incredibly important.
And I think that that's probably the best way to fight back against that stigma, right? Like if they actually listened to the patients and to the people.
Yes, don't take it from me. Listen to the folks who count on us.
I feel like since I became a mom, my activism has become much more urgent. It's because I'm like, oh, this needs to change now. My kid is 7. I want different things for her.
That's right. I feel that so poignantly.
I just dread that conversation that I have to have with her when I say, some people are always going to think that you're less than. She is still young enough that she, she couldn't possibly imagine that anyone would think something about her because she's a girl, right? And
why do I think she's just going to be in really good shape? I think she's got a really good role model. And I do think that's important because, look, women and young men, I mean, they're going to face all kinds of barriers, kind of hostility. And I think it's important that they have role models to look up to, like you. They can go, okay, she did it. I can do it too.
That's very nice. I'll take that.
I spent so much time in prison dreaming about food. There would be times where we would get a new thing. Like, I remember when we got cabbage. I would just sit.